appreciation to Claude Moraes for convening this event, and to John Mann and Gert Weisterkin and the Inter-Parliamentary Coalition for Combating Antisemitism for your diligent commitment to the fight against antisemitism. And to the MEPs who have been here today and the observers who are here engaging in these critical issues. We at CEJI, A Jewish Contribution to an Inclusive Europe, have been a leading provider of diversity and anti-discrimination training programs for the last 20 years. We have worked with teachers, youth leaders, adult educators, professional trainers, public authorities, and other NGOs to bring awareness-raising educational programs that inspire people to take personal responsibility for creating inclusive environments free from prejudice and hatred. Hand in hand with our education work, CEJI has been an advocate of anti-discrimination legislation and policies, and I'm proud to say that we were one of the members of the original starting line group that got the Article 13 of the Amsterdam Treaty passed. We have a saying at CEJI: some people change because they see the light, and others because they feel the heat. And we need light and heat in order to make a change in this world and achieve the inclusive and democratic Europe that we strive for. A Europe in which people can enjoy their full potential with all their diversity. We are hearing from other colleagues, from Mike Klein and Paul Gianassi, two very close colleagues of mine, more about the heat. We've been hearing about that also in the earlier session. I'd like to focus a little bit more on the light. The education, training, and intercultural dialogue measures that can change minds and hearts and ultimately actions. We at CEJI believe that education must be anti-bias in nature, promoting respect for diversity and developing the intercultural skills needed to succeed in our pluralist reality. A world in which antisemitism exists is also the world in which other forms of bias and hatred can thrive, against other religious and cultural groups, against women and sexual minorities, against disabled people, and against anyone who is considered out of the norm and therefore inferior. The capacity to have empathy, to think critically about information received, to engage in cooperative learning, and a positive self-esteem are all essential anti-bias skills for youth and adults. This has implications for the way students are educated, for the process of democratic governance in schools, and on the content which is delivered, not only for students, also for adults who are engaged in ongoing professional development. To prevent and confront anti-Semitism, there is also a need for education and training programs to provide proper content about the nature of anti-Semitism, to understand the building blocks of stereotypes, prejudice, discrimination, scapegoating, vandalism, and violence. The lessons of the Holocaust need to be internalized so that nobody sits silently by while another suffers from a hostile environment. Anti-bias education should not be treated as the theme of the year. It needs to be integrated into national curriculum and become a regular, natural part of the initial and continued professional training for educators. Police officers, prosecutors, judges, and others in the criminal justice system need to be trained to identify anti-Semitism and to respond sensitively to its victims. Media professionals also have a very important role to play in either the perpetuation or the confrontation of anti-Semitic ideas, so that they too should be trained to understand its nature and the myths which propagate prejudices which can lead to hate crimes against Jews. We also need to train ourselves as NGOs and communities to monitor and respond to anti-Semitism. The Facing Facts project, funded by the European Commission, which we are engaged with the CST and the CEJI and ILGA Europe and the CD in the Netherlands, are all as a very good example of doing just that. And finally, it is also so important for different social cultural groups to understand each other's needs and stand up for each other's rights and solidarity. For this, I'd like to thank our colleagues who have been present here today from the International Lesbian and Gay Association, from the European Roma Information Office, from the European Network Against Racism, and the Social Platform. To close, I would like to quote the Chief Rabbi of the United Kingdom, Professor Sir Jonathan Sacks, who in his address to the European Parliament a few years ago expressed the wish that, may we, the countries and the cultures of Europe, and all our glorious diversity, together write a new European covenant of hope.